Hey, Good Fox here. So today we're going to talk through Madden 19's franchise mode. There was a Game Informer article put out. I'll put it in the description. I'm sorry how negative this video is going to be about franchise mode. I was a huge franchise mode player for over a decade, but I've switched to MUT in recent years because that's where they seem to provide the updates and where I'm having the most fun at. But I know like some of the most fun in Madden itself is in online franchise mode, and that's why it kind of pains me to see what they do to it year to year. But like other better franchise modes out there, like Out of the Park Baseball, Football Manager, stuff that EA can learn from, or devote more resources to the franchise mode. Like, they don't understand you can sell a lot of copies of your game by having a killer franchise mode. And right now, the franchise mode seems like a D to me. It's got some good stuff in it. It's still like football. There aren't too many great franchise football games out there on the market for the computer. I've checked, but let's get right into it before I get too positive. All right, so. And to be fair, this year in 19, it does feel like we're getting more than we did the last two, when 17 and 18, when I put out those videos on the franchise mode. But for as long as they've ignored this mode, it does feel like it needs more. It feels like this is like a normal yearly cycle of a kind of a down cycle of a real game. So like something that they'd like a real game would do with just a normal update. It seems like it need more of an overhaul than it actually got, and the way that the new senior producer is talking about franchise mode, it doesn't feel like they're going to devote more to it in the future, whereas Rex kind of devoted some to it this year. But that's, to come, to see. And I know I'm going to get a lot of comments saying, there's going to be more revealed still as the game approaches, or on launch there's going to be more than they're promoting. But maybe you're right. But I think they want to lead with the big stuff to draw people in. Why hide features of the game until we're closer to launch? Because they're looking for pre-orders right now for people. They're trying to get people hyped. So this, to me, feels like it's it. Like, this is it for it. But let's go through. They talk a lot about, this is kind of like an introduction, putting together a good NFL roster, kind of like introducing what we'll get into more in depth about. Sorry. Well, yeah, this is kind of below. Players get XP bonus for playing the same scheme. Yeah, let's get through the intro and right into the depth of the mode here. So schemes, into the details. EA created 8 offensive schemes and 6 defensive ones. All right, cool. There's a couple more schemes than we had in years past. 46. I wonder if the speed package will be there. Hopefully. That's kind of glitchy. So, cool. We've had schemes in the past. We'll have them going forward. If you want to change your team's playbook, you can see what schemes go with that playbook. Visual indicators allow the player scheme fit, including 1-year scouting for the draft. So, Jason Garrett here, he's got the Dallas Cowboys, the vertical zone run, Blaze 4-3, and then you see the player type that goes along with it. So, and you see what kind of roster scheme you have to fit. So, this is cool in theory. This is really cool. Let's get into why it's not going to work. All right, so let me go through the archetypes first. Then I'm going to talk about why. So, player archetypes fit within the schemes. So, there are up to 4 archetypes for each positional group. Quarterback archetypes, for example, are scrambler, strong arm, west coast, and field generals. All right, right there. Strong arm player type. That's your archetype for next year. And then your roster fits it very well because you're the Dallas Cowboys. And Dak Prescott's a strong arm quarterback type. So if you're running a vertical scheme, each of the attributes... Okay, let's go. Each of the archetypes has its own internal formula that determines the attributes missed within the archetype. I mean, this is all sounding great so far. The difference between the archetypes, what basically the entire thing revolves around, are XP bonuses if your players fit your archetypes. So why is this an issue? Let's look at Odell. Why is XP bonuses for players that fit your archetype an issue? Now, in the NFL, there are crappy coaches and there are good coaches. EA's got this backwards here. So you see the terrible coaches drafting and getting players and then putting them into their scheme, if that makes sense. The good coaches get the players, like Belichick, and then move their scheme around them and change it around to fit their strengths. So providing XP bonuses for guys that are this certain archetype that fit your team archetype that you draft onto your team, it's not how the NFL works anymore. You make your team around the players, not the other way around. Your scheme needs to go around your players. So the fact that you're giving XP bonuses because they fit your scheme, it's okay for a game. It just doesn't really match the NFL, in my opinion. It doesn't seem to go where I want the NFL game to go. But for a game, fine. These guys, they're not going to play any better. They're just going to get more XP. So there's no extra depth in there for the actual gameplay. So that's probably my main issue there. With player progression here, another issue, player archetypes fitting the team scheme doesn't modify the player ratings from game to game. Scheme fit players progress faster than those who don't. Because you know what you see the different overall for different archetypes you have: possession, red zone slot, 95 overall in your deep threat. Overalls don't matter. How they play on the field is not going to matter on your overall. Just remember that. That's all fake news. So when you get you can no longer increase individual ratings. And when you apply a skill point to an archetype, basically your XP, you get a random bump in the archetype's appropriate ratings. Why is it random? And why can't players grow the attributes the way they want? Senior designer John White says that players in online leagues would save up all their points and then dump them into attributes like speed all at once. This, however, wouldn't change the player's overall rating, creating imbalance that threw off the game's free agent or re-signing logic. We would never rate a guy like people were able to build these guys. I'm not going to yell. Once again, they have it backwards. If your logarithm is so shitty that it doesn't recognize speed as the most important attribute on the field for skill positions, don't restrict the players themselves. Retool your logarithm. Retool the formula. Like I just don't understand how this was the way they decided to fix it. Why not make your shit better instead of restricting players into how they customize their players in their franchise? Terrible, disgusting management of this entire game here. This is the reason why franchise mode has been neglected so long, because if they make too many changes, maybe they'll just make it shittier. Traditional player traits like clutch are not buyable, but are an innate player, part of that player from the start. Fine. Development trait has changed. There's no more slow development. It's normal, quick, star, and superstar. Did slow players like complain? Sucks to suck. It's such a weird change. That's like a nothing change. Maybe they changed it. They changed the labels on them, so that way they can put a bullet point in here to help pad the article. Weekly gameplay and focus trading stay the same. Okay. Player aggression has been fixed, overhauled, and I don't know about fixed, but overhauled. That's something we won't be able to know until we get into the game, so I can't comment on that, but regression was an issue. They basically hit a wall last year. Custom draft classes. All right, this has been very sought after. Great addition. This is one thing I'm going to give them very good props for. New ratings, draft day, and more. So, custom draft classes, gorgeous. You can create your own. You can import it. You can put in, hidden draft gems, like they say. Awesome. Props. That is a huge community feature. I'm not going to be negative about that. Madden 19 introduced new ratings for the same position. All right, look at those. Who did a video on these things? Telling you guys. Would Papa Gut Fox lead you wrong? I don't think so. I told you guys there's new shit coming. That's more gameplay than franchise. If you see a coach or owner in franchise mode, you'll see them in office, complete with idle animations if your player will be in their locker room. And draft day has been reworked to feature a new draft location, complete with stage crowd, cityscape. I mean, this is just lipstick on a pig, right? I mean, these are just graphics. Like, how long does it take a graphic and to animate a coach or owner? Like, I could literally make up these draft locations and graphics in one day. Like, this would take me 8 hours of work. Right? Take pictures, trace over them. There you go. You got a cityscape. I guess, are buildings trademarked? They might be. I don't know. I guess maybe it takes longer than a day. That's like what? This is like a one-person job. 8 hours. When you have the player, you'll see that model come out on stage and even strike a pose. Cool. You can take 5 or 6 snapshots within games that will be threaded through the mode's other menus, the news and loading screen. Well, that's nice depth. The team depth chart, like an Ultimate Team, contains special positions. Ultimate Team lead in franchise mode again. Slot receiver, slot corner. All right, nice. That's pretty cool. I think there are better methods of doing this. Like I mentioned, my Ultimate Team mode, the old school Madden where you can do formation subs, where you can sub in. Basically, they give your entire on the depth chart. They show what positions are for which formations. Then you sub out guys in the depth chart. Then it carries over game to game. This will carry over game to game, but I think they could have done it like the old one. I think that was just a superior solution. And it's not like it was very memory intensive. Those were like N64 games. Maybe not. Maybe they're PS1, PS2. You can choose team captains. Sweet, and they got sweet patches. I don't know. I don't know who works on franchise, but it's literally got to be like 3 guys. This is like a 3-guy job for a year, or girls. 3 guys or girls. I don't want to, whatever, be sexist. But yeah, look at the overhaul of the menus. I don't know about overhaul if that's the right word. So that's my breakdown of why Madden 19 franchise mode is going to suck. It has more improvements than it had in previous years. I think you guys will still have fun in online franchise. I just don't see it. Year to year, the improvements, the innovations, the changes. This isn't there. Madden doesn't devote enough time to the development of this mode. It's sad, really. I've spent years of my life in Madden in franchise mode, and I'm not going to go into a big soliloquy here, but yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think about franchise mode next year. Are you guys hyped? Sorry for being so negative. There seems like there's some good additions, like custom draft classes. That's awesome. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Call to action. Did I miss anything? If not, I'll see you tomorrow.